is Adele, and for the past 2 sessions, we have been looking on how to use our limbs to help us to bear weight properly. But today we would like to bring the focus a little bit closer to the middle of the body, and that's where the strength that we like to use comes from. So we will be covering the front and back, okay, which is the belly and the back. Some of the key alignments, some of the key activation for these two parts of the body, we usually have to start gentle though, so that we get the correct engagement, get the correct breathing before we add on more challenging sequences or challenging movements. But the key is you want to really find these two, the front and back, okay, as a nice complement to one another, just like two parts of the yin and yang. Okay, so one is on the front, one is on the back, but then when they come together well, combined with the breath, that's where you feel a lot of fluidity and comfort in all your yoga poses. So today we'll start off on the ground. Have 2 blocks ready. We'll need them later on. So lie on your back. So just take a moment, allow yourself to lie on the ground. Just observe and notice your body weight on the ground, how the body is contacting with the surface. Just observing without judging, without analyzing too much. As you feel a little bit more settled, start to bend your knees. You can have a quick glance, it's like a hip width apart. Then you can just make sure the back of the head stays on the ground so the neck is long. Take both hands onto the lower belly, and with your hands just gently press to encourage your belly to release, to relax. So in our pursuit of beauty, a lot of us like to have very toned abs. Toned abs is nice if you like it, but the key is it has to learn how to relax when it's required. So in full diaphragmatic breathing, which we are going to practice here, we need the belly to be soft and relaxed for that to happen. So comfortable standing on your feet, hands can be placed lightly on your lower belly. Take an inhale all the way to the pit of the belly. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, you might feel that your soft belly expands outwards. Exhale, you might feel your belly lightly cinch in at the waist. Inhale. Exhale. Few more rounds. You might also notice a little different sensations of your back against the ground when you inhale and when you exhale. Last round. Now let's take an inhale together and feel how the belly gently expands outwards into your hands. And take an exhale, completely exhale, and find how the belly lightly pulls in without any tension. One more time, you inhale, letting the belly gently expand outwards. And exhale, feel that little bracing, little core support as you exhale. With this nice support that's going on at the sacrum, the bone that you're resting on, you take both hands beside your hips and bring your knees up on top of your hips like a square. So you feel, okay, my lower back, my sacrum is pressing on the ground, my lower back may still be displaying its curve or not. The key is you're able to breathe comfortably and not trembling or not quivering at this point. Okay, you can, if you feel a little bit unstable in your lower back, you can put 2 hands below at the lower back area for support. Or I like to use a way where I use my hands to pull down the sides of my mat and feel a little bit more supported. Then from here, you can point the toes up to the sky, and then we're going to do heel drops. So from here, you drop your right heel towards the ground in front of you and bring it up. The left heel does the same, and up, right, and up, left, and up. The right heel, gently tap, and up. Stabilize your back by pulling down the mat if you need to. And left, right, and up, left, and up. One more set, right, and up, left, and up. Then take a moment there, you can relax the toes a little bit. You can roll out your ankles, opposite direction. Then for those who like to, you can rest a little bit, or if you want to up the challenge, continue pulling down the mat or pressing your hands by the sides of your thighs, sacrum still pressing on the ground. You can bring the heel downwards and forward as you straighten the legs. Otherwise, go with the same sequence or same selection modification that we did just now. So from here, okay, you can put the right heel forward and stretch out. Then come back in, left heel downwards, straighten the leg and scoop the knee in. Right, scoop the knee in. Left, the heel forward, scoop the knee in. 3 more sets. Right, scoop the knee in. Left, scoop, right, back, left, coming back, last set, right, coming back, and left, coming back. Then from there, bring the knees towards the chest, hold at the back of knees, and now allow your lower back to round towards the ground. Bring your chin up, gently gaze towards the navel without tensing your neck, and holding here for Om 1, Om 2, Om 3. Now you feel your back rounded against the ground as a stretch. Om 5. Slowly release the head down. Keep your right knee into the chest and extend the left leg out forward. Dig the heel towards the ground. Feel a light stretch across the left front hip. You can option to squeeze the right leg straight into the sky. Rebend the knee. Keeping your breath fluid, bring your forehead towards the knee. As you pull the knee just inward slightly, breathe. Slowly rest the head down, plant the right foot down and bring the left knee in, back of the knee, so you guide the leg into the hip, and then straighten the right leg out forward, stretching the front of the right hip, the front of the right lower belly. Bring your forehead up, your chin towards the chest. The key is to keep the neck long and maintain nice, comfortable breathing. So it's training your neck not to react while you do a crunch, using your front abdominal muscles rather than using your neck to react to the pose. Slowly release the head down, both knees bend, gently rock from side to side, massage across the back. You can take it in a circular fashion. And opposite direction, that means you cover more surface of the back. Then from there, you can bring your knees to bend, pulling your foot towards your head, rocking front and back a few times. And then from here, you can gently rock up to the sit or help yourself out to the sit where you bring your knees towards the ground and pick up your blocks from here. So after a light core activation, we want to use a little bit more, okay, of those key actions that we've just used. So you take your blocks about shoulder width apart, you bring your elbows on top of it. If there's no block, you can use the ground. You can just keep your hands relaxed. If you need more support, you can option to interlace your fingers. Bring your knees a little backwards below the hips. Okay, so I can have my palms facing down, my wrist is pretty relaxed. Shoulders draw back, same shoulder action from the last session. Point the tail, stretch the belly and chest forward like a cow. Tuck your tail, hunch your back, rounding your upper and middle, lower back, black cat. Point tail, stretch belly and chest. Tuck tail, hunch back. Inhale, gently arch the cow just to stretch out the belly. Exhale, just to stretch out the back. Looking backwards, you can look forward first, interlace your fingers, press down the forearms more actively. As you look back, straighten your right leg behind you, straighten your left leg behind you, 2 straight legs. If it already feels really difficult for you to breathe, feel free to drop the knees far away from your elbows and staying here. Maintain breathing, shoulders support, slightly hug in your inner thighs, finding that core strength or with legs straight. Then we stay here for Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Drop the knees down. Then from there, you drop the belly down to the ground as you keep your elbows on the ground or the blocks. Stretch out the chest. It's like a Sphinx Pose where you, after you engage your belly just now, you let the legs lay straight and stretch your belly out forward. Just giving a little mild stretch to the belly. Then from there, put the blocks to one side. And slowly lie down your belly. Take your hands below the chin or forehead. Let the legs be stretched out gently. Turn your face to your right side. Allow yourself to breathe into the right side body. Relax the jaws. If you feel any back tension at all, now is a good time to release it. Turn back downwards. Turn your face to the second side. Shoulders relax, breath flows. Turn back to center. We revisit what we call the Sphinx Pose, where we bring the elbows directly below the shoulders, fingers point forward. You're pressing down the feet, you're pressing down the forearms to get a mild stretch of the belly out from the waistline area. You can option to turn your gaze to look over right shoulder, right hip. Just getting a little bit more stretch on the left. Turn back forward and go on to look on the other side. Keeping the shoulders stable. Come back forward. Take your hands directly in front of the shoulder tips with your elbows and forearms down to the ground. Catch your pinky toenail down to the ground. So from after doing that nice little strengthening of the front of the ab and the core while adding on breathing, we're going to use our back area now. So this is a really good practice for those who suffer from back pain. Very mild, okay, just to your own degree. Press down your palms. Feel like you're pulling your elbows back. Stretch the chest forward. Just lift off the ground with your palms, forearms still supporting the ground. So you want to make sure that you start to associate, okay, back strength with comfortable breathing, okay, and slowly coming down. If this was already very intense, please stay with this height or feel free to move your hands more forward. Alternatively, for those who want a little bit more, slide your hands one palm width back. That's where your palms are still on the ground, but your elbows are lifted. Shoulder roll back, feel like a shoulder shrug. Press down the hands and stretch the chest out forward. This is your baby cobra. Okay, so you feel your back working to lift your chest up. And then you hold for Om 1, Om 2. The hands are pretty light. Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Slowly from here, release a little bit. You can come up for a third set if you feel up for it. But notice how your back is feeling. The third set, we move the hands a little bit down to the chest level. Same thing, elbows hug in, shoulders roll back. So it's a higher form of Cobra. Press down your feet and let your legs actively pull back. Then from there, your toenails is pressing down, your chest stretch forward to the height that you can. You can use more hands, but feel like you are striking forward. Chest, belly coming forward, shoulders pull away, elbows hug into the side ribs. Staying here for 5, Om 4, Om 3, the breath is fluid, the collarbones are shining forward. Om 1, and slowly press down the hands to help yourself to come down. So from here, you press down the hands, you tuck the toes under, go to a counter position, shift the weight to hands and knees, come back onto all fours on hands and knees. Keep the toes tucked under. Look onto the right shoulder, right hip. Just a mild stretching of the side. Come back to center, looking onto the left side. Back to center, revisit yesterday's pose, tuck your toes, last session pose, tuck your toes under, lift the knees up slightly. Then with your hands and shoulders well supporting you, push the hips back and up with your ears next to your upper arms. Then feel free to just pedal out your legs or extend your right leg straight behind you. The heel may be off the ground for some of us. Change the left heel downwards, the right knee bends. Both legs straight, you're in a downward facing dog. The key is the spine is extending, the hip is free, the belly is free. Feel like the thighs are sitting on the back wall. So this is where you can practice some breathing. Inhale and exhale. Feel a light singeing in of the waist, like creating a little bit more support at the midsection. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Slight bend your knees, walk your feet wide to the width of the mat. That's where some of us can bring our hands backwards. Slowly climb back and you fold your body towards the legs, maybe with knees bent just to slight ease out the back area that we have just used in our Cobra sequence. Take both hands over to one side, drape your body against the thighs. Knees can stay bent for those of us who are sensitive in the back because of our tight back of the legs. Back to center, you drape over to the second side. Come back to center, straighten out your legs, hands on shins, flat back. Give the weight to the feet. A good way of coming up is always to feel a little bit more support. Hands on hips if you need to. Just take an inhale first. Exhale. Feel that light support going in at the waist, at the lower ab area. Inhale again. Exhale. Feel the support. It's not just sucking in the belly. There's a nice supportive feeling that you're feeling. One more time. Inhale. The back also feels support. Exhale. Belay yourself up to standing. Then from there, hands beside you. Take a walk all the way to the front of the mat, where you take a moment and let your feet just be comfortably placed about your hip width, about your Tadasana pose. So from here, we just give a nice little stretch to the front and back and sides of the torso. This little core support that we want to have. So you take your right arm up into the sky. Then from there, side bend. Press the hip away from where the fingers are reaching. Inhale, come back to center, palms facing. Right arm down, reach over to the right side, hip push towards the left side. Okay, if you want a little bit more, you're very stable in your feet, your breath is flowing all the way to the lower belly. You can even turn your chest looking away from, looking towards the left side. Slowly from there, inhale, come back up, and exhale, take the arms down. Take a moment, find your mountain pose again, finding that support. Maybe today you're feeling grounded in your feet and a little bit more supported in your abdominals, in your lower back. Okay, so today's class, okay, abs, your back, creating a nice support like a corset, okay, that is not inhibiting your breath for you to move through your day very well. So I end you with this, okay, make sure you breathe, make sure you find enough support in your body to go through the whole day. Give thanks for your practice and your time today. Namaste.